Happy Thursday, folks. Welcome to part 5 of my book review called Midas Touch: Why Some Entrepreneurs Get Rich and Why Most Don't, by Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki. So I'm going to read you guys several parts of the ending of this book. Like I said, I recommend this book for those of you who are into entrepreneurship, business, etc. So there's a section called How to Get Your Upper Hand. And one of the bullet points is called Acquire Leadership Skills. Leadership is an educational process, a process that challenges you every day. People who avoid leadership and the responsibilities of leadership will probably make poor Midas touch entrepreneurs. Transitioning from the S quadrant to the B and I quadrants requires leadership skills. If you follow Robert Kiyosaki and have his books, then you know what the E, the S, the B, and the I quadrant stands for. There's another bullet point called Learn How to Sell and Invest. Rather than go back to school and get my master's degree as my poor dad recommended, my rich dad recommended a very different educational path since the skill required for the B and I quadrants are different. B is business and I is invest. Rich dad recommended I learn to sell and invest in real estate before leaving the Marine Corps. He had two reasons. First, entrepreneurs must be able to sell to their customers, their employees, and their investors. His second reason was that real estate investors must know how to manage and profit using debt. Knowing how to profit from debt was preparing me for the I quadrant. Another bullet point: hire a coach. If you are to be a true entrepreneur, you can't afford to let the lack of money stop you. Rather than say, I can't afford a coach, use your creative mind to find a way to make it happen, especially for the things that are important in your life. And that's one of the things that I learned from Robert Kiyosaki. And there's other entrepreneurs that have said the same thing, that if you want something, you can't think of saying, oh, I can't afford that. You got to figure out to say, how can I afford it? Or how can I get this and that? But never put that negative thought in your mind, say, oh, I can't afford it. And that's something that I had to get rid of, that mindset as well. So if when you're making an investment, an important investment, you can't let that stop you. So I agree with him on that. Another bullet point, which is a real challenge one for a lot of us, but it's true. And that is, don't work for money. If you have read Rich Dad Poor Dad, you may recall that Rich Dad's very first lesson was, the rich don't work for money. One reason why most E's and S struggle with money is because they work for money. You're probably wondering, if I don't work for money, what do I do? What do I work for? How do I eat and put a roof over my head? All good questions. Here's the answer. B's and I's make so much more money because they work to build, buy, and acquire assets. The financial statement picture below explains the difference. If you get the book, then you'll know what I'm talking about. And you'll see what he's talking about. I'm gonna read another section. It's called Learn a Lot and Learn Fast. And basically, Robert have this to say. If you are committed to the Midas Touch, I recommend the following basic topics for ongoing study. And those bullet points are sales training, basic business law, basic accounting, marketing and advertising, web, internet, and social networking. 6, people skills, and 7, technical investing. I'm gonna read technical investing because for many people that's like a little foreign, but I'll read it. Take classes on technical investing, aka futures trading. An entrepreneur must know how to make money in markets that are going up and in markets that are coming down. To simply believe that markets only go up is naive. Remember, this isn't about becoming an A student in these subjects. Just know how these subjects interact in a business. You do not have to do these courses all at once. Just dedicate your life over time to continuously learn these subjects. And I'm gonna read you guys a section called A Word for About Generosity. If you are not a generous person, then you may want to begin personal development in that area. You simply must want to make other people money and include them in the bounty of what you are building if you want to have the Midas touch. Now, to finish this off, I'm gonna go with what Donald Trump has to say in a chapter called Luxury and Details, one small thing that became a big thing. And basically he's talking about um how Trump Tower was built and things of that nature. But I'm gonna read you guys a section called When Big is Big. When you think big, you will automatically trigger more details because details are the major component of making anything big. They are the stepping stones to high quality and a strong structure. I think in construction terms, and a blueprint is something to consider as you begin your business. Robert says there is a big difference between little things that count and thinking small. He's right. When I was building Trump Tower, my father couldn't understand why I wanted to use glass when bricks had always worked just fine for him and were less expensive. But my vision was a sleek tower, and glass was one of the details that would make it an exceptional and beautiful building. Every big picture is full of small details. Every big symphony has an amazing number of instruments and very many details that add up to an incredible sound. When I think big, which is often, you can be sure I'm aware of the myriad little things that we will have to account for. And I'll leave it right there, guys. If you want the book, it's called Midas Touch. I highly recommend it. My book review for Midas Touch, incredible book, amazing book, 1 through 5. I'll give it a 4.6 out of 5 stars. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for the next book review for a brand new book. So thank you once again for tuning in. Be safe, everyone. And may God bless each and every one of you. Take care.